Hi everyone, my name is Honey Denson and I am going to be your instructor for this literature course. I deeply apologize that our very first meeting is virtually. It can't be helped. As I said, two of my kiddos have COVID and it's just what we have to do. My husband actually had it last week and so he had to return to the office today because he was out last week. So here we are. I really do hate this. I really do. I much prefer being face to face, but we'll make do with it. Usually, the first day, all we do is go over the syllabus and kind of get to know each other anyway. So we can definitely do that, in an online type format. So I'm just going to kind of briefly go over some of the things with this course, with the syllabus and whatnot, and then there'll be just a very short D2L assignment I'm going to ask you to complete just so I can kind of get to know y'all just a little bit better. So we are narrative medicine. This is part of the Meharry sequence that y'all are taking. And one of the things I love about teaching this class in particular is that y'all are such a small group. We can really get into some awesome discussions. And of course, especially all of you have an interest in the medical field. So, I think that this is right up y'all's alley. So hopefully. So we are meeting Wednesday, Friday from 12:40 to 2:05 in Pet Call 305. My office hours, I'm in Pet Call 345. My office hours I'll do Wednesday before class, so from 10 to 12:30. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot of office hours, but that's because most of the classes I teach are dual enrollment. So I actually teach at Siegel High School more than I actually teach on MTSU's campus. And so I'm not in my office a whole lot. But if you do need help with anything, just let me know. I teach early morning classes at Siegel, like 7:30 in the morning early. So I actually get done with my teaching work pretty early. So if you do need some help or just want to sit and talk or whatnot, just let me know. It's really easy for me to get on campus most days. And I'll probably be in my office a little bit before class on Fridays too, just kind of depending on what's going on and what my schedule looks like that day. But because I'm not on campus a whole lot, I actually give y'all my personal number. This is actually my phone number. So I've never had too much of a problem giving it out before. The only thing I ask is that if you need something, don't call after like 9:30 because I tend to go to bed early because I teach a 7:30 a.m. class. You can text me at any time. It's just that if it's a little bit later, you probably won't hear from me until the morning. So I'm not going to go over all the course descriptions and fun things like that because I know y'all can read it. Oops, that went a little bit far. Because I know what y'all are really wondering about is what do I need for this class and how do I make an A? So these are the books, of course, I posted them in D2L. And as I said, I don't care how you get them. You can check them out from the library. You can buy them from a bookstore. You can buy them used off of Amazon. It doesn't matter. I figured that y'all are spending a lot of money on textbooks, especially once you get into medical school and whatnot. So if we can save some money by not having to spend a lot on these books, then go for it. The only one that might be a little bit harder to find used is the Mercies in Disguise. The others are a little bit more of a commercial success. And this one, I think a lot of the students that are in the Meharry group, not so much the on-campus group, wind up really liking this one because it's a very scientific-based book. So I think you'll really enjoy it. But the very first one that we're reading is The Fault in Our Stars. And that's probably the one that's the most popular, the one that people have heard the most about, because it was made into a movie several years ago. But there are a lot of differences between the movie and the book. So please don't watch the movie because it might make it really difficult to understand the book. But I mean, if you want to watch the movie kind of to compare the two, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's kind of a funny story, same thing. It does have a movie associated with it, but again, I wouldn't watch the movie in lieu of the book because Hollywood changes things and it's very different than the text. So these are just if you feel like you need it. I don't think you probably don't need a dictionary, but just to help you when it comes to writing papers, make sure you save stuff. I know this seems kind of silly or whatnot, but I don't know how many students I've had over the past few years like send me a message the night a paper's due saying I was working on a paper and I don't know what happened, but it's gone. I don't know where it is. So save it to the cloud, save it as you're typing it. We don't want to lose a whole paper. We won't do too many workshops, but there is once or twice I might ask you to bring in your paper while you're working on it, just so we can take a look at it together, make sure you're on the right track. So your assignments. So there are 4 reflections that we're going to be doing through the course of the semester. I don't do quizzes. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, what color was the outfit she was wearing in chapter 3 when she met the main character? That's not going to be helpful, I feel like. So, but the reflections are just to see what your thoughts on the reading were. Did you understand it? What are your thoughts kind of on these different books that we're reading? So as I said, there'll be 4 spread out through the semester. They're worth 25 points apiece. Then we're going to be doing an interview project. I'm actually changing it for this semester just because in the past we've had some problems. You're going to be interviewing special needs moms. So Expecting Adam is a book about a woman who finds out that her unborn child has Down syndrome. And it's back in the 80s where there was still, and there still is today, but even more so in the 80s, a lot of prejudice and a lot of misconceptions about people who are living with disability. And it's just kind of her coming to terms with this diagnosis and what it means for her family and what decisions she's going to make and whatnot. And so what I do is I typically have some special needs moms. Most of them will have children with Down syndrome. There might be 1 or 2 that have a child with a different disability, but it's still relevant to the text. And so normally I have you interview them individually, but the problem is when you're working with people is sometimes they either forget or something happens and comes up. And so I've had some students scrambling to kind of finish. So what I'm trying to do is trying to arrange it so some of them can actually either come to class or join us via Zoom, and we can kind of do the interview together. But you'll basically be interviewing these special needs parents and comparing their experiences to the character in the book. The character analysis and literary analysis, those are just kind of regular old, things that we tend to do in English classes where you're just going to be analyzing text. With the character analysis, obviously, you'll be specifically looking at a character, and literary analysis, we'll get into that when we get there, is basically going to be, the text and different literary devices that are used within those texts. And then the final is worth 100 points. So just try to submit your assignments on time. Try to be present and punctual. I get it. COVID's going on. I'm missing the first day of class. So, if you're sick, just let me know. We don't really have an attendance policy. We can't really have one at MTSU this semester. But, just don't not come to class all semester long and show up at the very end and expect to do well. I had a student do that last semester in one of my comp classes, and you just can't do that. Try to submit them as on time as possible. I know life can get crazy. If you're going to be late, just let me know. So that I am always willing to grant extensions, but just keep me in the loop. Of course, if you're bleeding heavily and in the ER or whatnot, don't sit there and go, oh, I got to text Miss Denson and let her know that my assignment's going to be late. But it's kind of one of those things, if you're just overwhelmed and need more time, just let me know. As I said, demonstrate academic integrity. Y'all have had the comp classes. I don't feel like I need to go over that. I've never had a problem with respectfulness in this particular class, but I promise that I will show up when my kids don't have COVID, and I will be prepared, and we will have a good discussion. So if classes are canceled, just check D2L. Check it, once or twice a week, and I'll let you know if we're not going to have school. If Rutherford County schools are closed, check D2L, because 9 times out of 10 we'll probably have to cancel because I have children in Rutherford County schools. So that could be, I can't leave them at home alone. Writing Center, if you need help, if you need accommodation for disability. This is an MT Engage course. So the interview project is actually our MT Engage project. You do not have to participate in MT Engage if you don't want to, but if you do, there's some scholarship opportunities and some different award type opportunities that you can have. And so we'll get into that when the interview project starts up. There is a course calendar, so just look through it. All the things that I will ask you to do are for Wednesday are in red, and then Fridays in blue, and then assignments are in green when they're assigned and when they're due and whatnot. So try to have, so I asked for The Fault in Our Stars chapters 1 through 4 read by Friday. That means by Friday, come ready to discuss chapters 1 through 4 and whatnot. Now, the first week, If you can't get there, it's fine. I don't even know if we're going to be able to meet Friday yet or not. So, but just go through the schedule. If you have any questions, concerns, just let me know. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to create a Dropbox. It should be open by the time you watch this video. And I just want a little get to know you. That's what I do. Like for example, my name is Honey Denson. You can call me Mrs. Denson. I don't have my doctorate yet, so students sometimes call me doctor, and I'm not quite there yet. Sometimes students ask, can I call you Miss Honey? Because they think it's sweet. I'm okay with that. So just as long as you get your work done, you can call me almost anything you want. So I'm from Columbia, Tennessee. I was born and raised there. I went to Tennessee Tech for my undergrad. Pretty much lived in Tennessee my entire life. I have 3 children. I'm married. So yeah, just some little basic background information about yourself is what I'm going to be asking to, and maybe 2 interesting things. So for me, 2 interesting facts about me is that I'm a speed reader, which probably has helped me be an English major, but I read the last Harry Potter book in one night. I bought it at midnight, got home, started it about 12:30, and I think I finished it about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, the whole book. So, but I can't do math. Don't ask me to do a single math problem. That is not where I am gifted. Another interesting thing is that I like to travel. So I'd rather spend money traveling than almost anything else. And so like we've taken our kids to New Zealand. They've been to the Bahamas. I've been to England. That's my favorite country to visit. That's what I like to do. So we're travel people. That's what we would prefer to do than, a lot of other things. So those are just some kind of an interesting little factoid about myself. So in this assignment, I'm just going to be asking just like, who are you? What name do you like to go by? Because sometimes people's names in the roster isn't the name they like to go by. That happened to my brother. His name is John Andrew, but we always called him Andrew. And there was one time he got sick at school. And so they called my dad at work because my mom couldn't pick him up to come get him. And they're like, hey, they talked to one of my dad's employees and they're like, hey, Mr. Matlock needs to come pick up his son, John. And everyone knew him as Andrew. And so he said, Mr. Matlock doesn't have a son named John, and hung up on the school. But they were talking about John Andrew. So, I just don't want there to be any confusion. I want to make sure I'm calling you the right name or what you prefer to be called. And just, as I said, just 1 or 2 interesting facts about yourself. Just let me know a little bit about you. And also, too, if there's anything I need to know, like normally the Office for Disabilities will send me an email going, hey, you've got a student. These are their accommodations. But if you haven't gotten around to it yet or whatnot, you can let me know there. Hey, I kind of need this accommodation. I might need a little bit more time on assignments or, whatever it is that you need. Just this would be a great opportunity for me to get to know you, because I know that y'all already know each other fairly well because you're in this Meharry cohort. You've been together for a little over a year now. And so this will be just a good time for me to get to know y'all just a little bit. Again, I apologize. COVID, what can we do? I'm going to test myself tomorrow. Hopefully I'm still negative. I've tested myself like 3 times since my husband got sick, and it's just kind of trickled from there. But I'll let you know about Friday by Thursday afternoon, because I definitely don't want to show up if I have COVID. My husband might be able to work from home on Friday to watch the kids so we can actually meet in person, hopefully. But I will let you know that as soon as I know. But in the meantime, just complete the D2L assignment. There aren't going to be any points assigned to it, so if you don't get around to it, it's not going to be a huge deal, but I would just really appreciate it. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know anytime. I am more than happy to help, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.